You might have heard YouTube is removing the dislike bar, or maybe it didn't, in which case, hey, did you know that YouTube was removing the dislike bar? It's a big deal for a number of reasons. I think the most obvious one is that if you remove the dislike bar, it sort of defeats the purpose of likes in general, right? Like, the point of the likes is the like to dislike ratio. You know, you don't see how many views people's pictures get on Instagram. And the reason is because likes serve the same function, right? Likes are there, you know, if a fucking picture has a bunch of likes, it means it's very popular. A lot of people like it. Uh, and that's what views do on YouTube, right? If a video has a lot of views, it's like, oh, I can sort of trust that because a lot of people watch it, right? It's popular. And so I can trust this video to be good or this video to have decent information or something along those lines. But, you know, likes and dislikes have always served sort of a separate function, right? While views are quantitative, the like to dislike ratio is like a qualitative thing where it actually will tell you, right? Like a video might have a lot of views, but it might have a lot of dislikes too. And now, of course, you know, some people will say, well, okay, if you want a qualitative measure of a video, then look in the comments. But of course, that doesn't really work because the comments can be curated by the content creator. They can pick and choose which comments go up on their page. Not to mention, YouTube will delete basically any comment that sounds negative. If you comment under a video, this video sucks, YouTube would probably delete it. If you tried to do that under this video right now, YouTube would probably delete your comment. It's turned YouTube comments from incredibly just full of like horrible shit to full of, I mean, nothing. YouTube comments are just full of spam now. It's because God forbid YouTube, you know, fucking implement any measures whatsoever in preventing a bunch of fucking spam comments. Oh, that would be terrible. That would be stupid. No, we're just gonna make it so that you can't say penis in the comments to your own fucking video. My most recent video is a video entitled, I believe, Drawing Your Requests. And I commented on my own video. I was like, request this penis into your butt. I said penis and butt specifically because, you know I can't say dick or ass because I know YouTube would automatically delete it. But it even deleted it when I said penis and butt. You can't say penis and butt in the YouTube comments anymore. So there goes your fucking notion of using the YouTube comments as some sort of qualitative judgment as to the quality of the fucking content that you're consuming. Obviously, there's a number of reasons why you want like a qualitative judgment on videos, right? Scams, you can be immediately alerted by an insane dislike ratio that a video that is like promoting some product or some shit is a scam. Of course, whenever people raised this concern, YouTube responded by saying, well, scams are against our terms of service, which first off, no, they aren't. There are scams that won't be against YouTube's terms of service. A lot of these fucking YouTubers doing their fucking crypto pump and dump schemes or their NFT bullshit, a lot of that stuff, it's scam. It's a fucking grift. They're trying to just, you know, they're generating a bunch of excitement about fucking Shart and my cock coin. Let me tell you about this absolutely fucking popping new crypto that I'm investing in called literally shit into my fucking dick hole. Literally shit into it and give me, I'm gonna have a fucking pink puffy pussy dick because it's infected with all the shit that's in my dick hole coin. Isn't that a funny fucking name for a cryptocurrency? Isn't that funny? You should buy it. You should all buy it right now. You know, if you know anything about crypto, you know the old saying, what goes up must, and it just goes up even more. But you know, videos like that, like that's not against YouTube's terms of service, or at least YouTube doesn't treat it as though it is. And so, hey, that's a scam that you wouldn't be alerted of by YouTube not allowing the video to be up. Also, for a video to be reported as a scam, somebody has to watch it and report it. So a bunch of people have already watched the video by the time it's reported, and YouTube has reviewed the video to determine that it's a scam. So it's not as if scam videos are just harmless because YouTube will eventually delete them. even supposing that YouTube actually had the capability to delete all of them, which they don't, nor do they have any real interest in doing that. More than anything, though, this of course benefits like large companies. You know, I imagine if you're Disney and you see that the new Eternals trailer gets a really fucking shitty like to dislike ratio, that might peeve you a little bit, you know? If that gets a really shitty like to dislike ratio, a bunch of people write articles about how shitty the reception of the Eternals is, how unexcited people are for this movie. Well, you know what would really help that is if you just couldn't see the dislikes. And so, I mean, that's really who this is for. And also, you know, consider other kinds of videos, right? Conspiracy theory shit. I know YouTube likes to pretend that they can somehow regulate all of that. But again, the best way to regulate that is to allow people to be able to signal to each other that there's something fucky here. You know, if there's a video that isn't very well researched discussing some topic, it's good to have a dislike bar there. But like, this is probably part of the reason why TikTok, that why conspiracies thrive on there, is because it's actually really fucking hard to gauge like what people think, right? You can see a conspiracy theory video on TikTok and it have hundreds of thousands of likes. Seeing a video with that many likes gives a sort of false perception that this is a popular belief that people have. Whereas if you had dislikes, you would actually see that, and it might make a person who's going down that rabbit hole sort of consider things for a second. I think that that is part of the reason why TikTok is so specifically susceptible to these things. Of course, it's algorithmically driven like YouTube, but yeah. And the reason that YouTube gives for this change is so that small YouTube channels don't get dislike bombed, which doesn't make any sense. That is not a reason at all. It isn't a reason. If I got dislike bombed, that would be good for my channel. Being dislike bombed will probably hurt your viewer retention, maybe, assuming that nobody sticks around to hate watch it. But being dislike bombed, it's just more people clicking on your video, right? Assuming that you're not like, it's not all the people who already watch your channel that are disliking the video. It doesn't affect your fucking video's performance in any way other than positive. The only people who it kind of hurts are, again, like big companies. Whenever like, oh, the preview to fucking Lightyear has a bunch of dislikes. Ooh, Disney doesn't like that so much. Of course they don't fucking like that. And honestly, like, I wouldn't be surprised if that's a big reason why this change is happening. If you're going to remove the bar, you may as well just remove the dislike button altogether. It reduces everything to popularity. So your only judgment in terms of like metrics as to whether or not you want to watch a video is how popular it is. And that popularity is a big incentive for people to watch something. But if something has a really good like to dislike ratio, somebody is more likely to click on it, right? Say you have a video with 1,000 views with a 98% like to dislike ratio, and you have a video about the same subject with 100,000 views, but it has like an 80-20 dislike ratio. And it's like, okay, well, somebody might click on that smaller video because it has a better like to dislike ratio, even though less people have seen it. You know, there are other issues, of course, too, that people could point out. There are other kinds of videos that it would be bad, you know, if you can't see the dislikes. Again, people have used the example of like outdated advice, you know, tech advice that isn't relevant anymore or that doesn't apply, or just a bad advice video. Like, think about just a video that gives shitty advice on how to deal with something. You wouldn't be able to see the likes or dislikes. There's plenty of people who share irresponsible shit on YouTube. YouTube is slowly grinding away at like the interactive element of the site. It's gradually becoming like this weird fucking decentralized like streaming platform almost. And you know, YouTube, of course, like from the perspective of a person who's a smaller creator, you might have seen a fucking ad on this video despite the fact that I haven't monetized it and I won't ever make any money off of it. You may have seen an ad, which just makes my video worse, of course, but YouTube has the right to monetize. I legitimately don't think that I'll ever be able to make any money on this website, even if I do reach the requirements for monetization. Mostly because you, A, don't make very much money anymore, B, YouTube has just determined that it can monetize anything. YouTube doesn't have to allow you to join the partner program to monetize your content and put ads on it. So why would they ever fucking monetize my videos? There's no reason at all. Like, YouTube is becoming more and more inhospitable to smaller content creators. And it's not this thing where it's like, oh, well, I would have been successful if I made a channel 2016. Like, of course not. Like that's not how it works. But I mean, it is true, right? Like, it is getting like worse and worse. Like, and eventually, it's just not going to be part of the site anymore. Like, that stuff is slowly going to die. I don't think it will continue on for a long time. I think just because of like the mythology of YouTube and where it's come from. That oh, you can make yourself. You could, yeah. It's like you can start from basically nothing and sort of work your way up, and eventually you can make money doing almost whatever you want. You have that freedom, and that's all. That sort of myth is what's going to carry YouTube forward and what's going to keep smaller content creators making content for the fucking site, even though that is not going to happen. Odds are worse as more people make good content on the site, right? Like, it's good, but also it's bad if you want to be successful, because there are so many other people. But also YouTube itself is becoming more and more hostile to your content if you are a small content creator. And like, none of this is to say that it matters that much. Like, if I wanted to make money, I would start a fucking Patreon. I mean, I would do that if anybody watched my videos. Basically, this change it doesn't help fucking anybody. It's just there to help like big companies. It doesn't help the people who watch YouTube. It does not help small content creators. I can tell you for a fact it would not help me. It wouldn't help any of my friends. It would not help. It's not gonna help anybody. Okay, the only people who it's gonna help is fucking people who scammers. It's gonna help big companies who like put out ads and promotional material and stuff that people don't like. That's who it's really gonna help. It's going to sort of silence that discontent with things. On this platform, at least. If you want to fucking complain about a shitty fucking movie trailer, you're gonna have to fucking tweet about it. So I don't know what to tell you, buddy.